Hey everybody, Donnelly here, Diamond Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and I have three of our newest jewels on the Zoom today. We have Shea Jones, Katie Cillarelli, and Gianina Bilan, and they're going to share a little bit about their stories and what helped them get to Emerald. All three of these ladies grew their business by over 1,000 points last month, which is huge. Not only did they do that, but they brought in several, like I pretty much lost count, silvers and duplicating, and they're focusing on retention. So I want Shea to go ahead and start first.
Hi guys, I'm Shea Jones. I've been doing Plexus for about 5 years now. I did not join to work a business. I was actually totally against it. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever and nobody could ever succeed in an MLM. I joined because my husband needed to lose weight, and I actually, one of my friends was brave enough to share her Plexus journey on Facebook and kind of talk about the products a little bit. And so when she shared about the weight loss side of it, it piqued my interest, not for me, because I was already healthy, using all these other holistic methods and eating clean and exercising, and had great reports from the doctor. And so I thought I don't need any of this. And I definitely didn't need weight loss because I was severely underweight, but I needed it for my husband because he needed to lose weight. So that's really why I started. And I wasn't interested in working the business even when I started. I just wanted to get my products wholesale and help out my family. So my journey was uneventful and I was just like everybody else. Did you have anything else you want me to share, Donnelly?
No, that's great. And then Katie, I want to hear a little bit about what brought you into Plexus.
Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm Katie Cillarelli, and I started Plexus 3 years ago. I had heard about it, seen about it, but wasn't really interested. I'd always been a pretty healthy person, a pretty fit person. But after our third daughter was born, I came down with an autoimmune disease, and I went to hospital after hospital. Nobody was diagnosing me correctly. Finally got diagnosed and sent to a specialist, and they gave me a prescription medicine and said, this is the rest of your life, and it's not nursing friendly, so you're going to take this medicine. You're going to have to do something else for your daughter. But you're going to be on it indefinitely. Your condition is chronic and it could come and go. It could be here forever. And that was what I was left with. And that wasn't enough for me. At 28 years old, I wanted more with my life than being on meds forever. So we just started praying about it. We put the news out on Facebook. My husband and I are in ministry. Lots of people were praying for us, offering ideas to try. We did some intravenous therapies. We did other holistic things. Nothing even touched it, my condition. So when my friend Joanna reached out to me about Plexus, I'd seen her post, but at that time, I never thought I needed them. I was needing them, but I just looked healthy, but internally there was so much going on that was so wrong. So I finally decided to give them a try. They had that money back guarantee. So I ordered the triplex and unease combo with the cream and the capsules. And you guys, within 6 weeks, my life was completely different than it had been. I went from being carried around the house by my husband to being able to walk again, to being able to take care of my children. And Plexus was safe for me to continue nursing my daughter. I never filled that prescription. And in 3 years, I've never had one relapse with my condition. So of course, that hooked me. The products were real. They worked. They helped me. And then I just started sharing about them 3 years ago. In April was my first post, and I just told my friends about it. And that's how I started. I didn't sign up for a business. I didn't even plan to work a business. I was pretty busy with my 5-month-old, 1-year-old, and 2-year-old. I didn't really need anything else. And also we traveled pretty much full time. But the Lord knew that I needed it down the road. And so that's kind of how I got started. It was not intentional, kind of like Shea, it just was kind of there. And then all of a sudden my products were being paid for, and then things just started snowballing from there. So that's how I got started.
Isn't it funny how we always think we don't need it? Yeah. Okay, Gianina, if you could share your story with us too.
Hey guys, so my name's Gianina, and gosh, I love how different all of our stories and all of our journeys are, just because it goes to show that this is something that could be for anybody. So I'm excited to share as well. I've been with Plexus for a little over 5 years now, and when I started, I of course didn't think that I needed the products, but I needed to be healthier overall. However, I was desperate for the opportunity. So the opportunity is something that really spoke to me. When I first started, to say that we were in a place financially that we needed Plexus is a drastic understatement. Our water was getting shut off, and we were making our own baby wipes, and sharing a phone, sharing a car, not having money to buy groceries, where we had to go to a food pantry once in a while. And so I needed to make a change, and I needed to do something for my family. And gosh, I just never in a million years thought that network marketing would be it. But within my first month, I made $300 to $400, and that literally was all that I needed. I just needed an extra $300 to $400 a month for my family to be able to survive. And then within 11 months, I ranked up to Ruby and started thinking, I can actually quit my job. Like, I can be a stay-at-home mom. And after that, things kind of started spiraling out of control for my family. And my husband at the time started getting in and out of addiction and in and out of jail, rehab. We got our car repossessed, getting kicked out of houses. And it was just a really awful chapter in our lives. But God definitely brought Plexus along right when we needed it. And I was able to leave that situation and still provide a great life for my son, and provide some kind of normality for him, to where, I didn't have to throw him in a daycare and work 2 jobs. And for anybody that has to do that, I'm definitely proof that there can be more and that we can thrive in this business. And so that's become a huge part of my why. So being able to now, for over 3 years, continue to be a stay-at-home single mom has been the biggest blessing for me.
I love your story. And, Gianina and we actually met 5 years ago. My husband and I were barely making ends meet, and we moved into the apartment complex that she managed. How funny is that, huh? That's how, her and I met. It's just crazy how our lives interchanged. So I think like the most incredible question right now that everybody wants to know is like, how did you do it? So I know you guys are going to give away like that one thing, right? Like we're going to say one thing and that's going to get somebody to enroll. But I really just want to hear what built up this month for you, because you guys have been in the business for some time. And like, what was it that you feel like you did this month that moved the needle more than other months? I know you guys all really dug in and worked super hard. And I would just love to hear from each of you guys in that journey. So Shea, I'm going to unmute you first.
Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, so when Donnelly asked me to share about what she felt like moved me forward, I literally did that, Donnelly. I looked and I was like, there's one thing that I did. This is the answer, the golden key. It's just one thing you do and then you go to success. Hallelujah. But it definitely was not like that. I feel like the reason that my points jumped so drastically is because of consistency. I say this all the time to my team: show up and share. I mean, as long as you're consistent, as long as you're pouring into people, consistency is everything, because people don't join companies, people join people. And so if you're consistent and you continually show up for your team and you train them and you teach them how to, do events if that's what works for their team, or teach them how to have one-on-one authentic conversations where you're connecting with people, that makes the biggest differences. Because really what we're doing is we're not giving people systems, we're showing them how to fish for themselves, right? Because we don't want to just tell them 1 + 1 = 2 and then people are going to join your team, because that's not how it goes. Discouragement is a huge part of this business. People are going to tell you no, people are going to give up, people are going to quit. Some people are not going to be as driven as you are. But we're not looking to add everybody, right? We're not looking for all yeses. We're looking for the right yeses. I love what is her name? Genevieve, she said, you can't say the wrong thing to the right people, right? That is so true. And that goes for your team as well. And I think when instead of being the God figure where we have all of the answers, because I think that's a misconception, is that in order to be successful in this business, in order to rank up, in order to, increase your points exponentially, that you have to have all the answers. You have to know exactly what you're doing. And newsflash, I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I am always asking questions. I'm always going to Donnelly and Adrian and my uplines and going, what the heck, where do I find this stuff? This person has this ailment and I don't even know. And that's a beautiful part of Plexus, is that we all rely on each other and we all use each other's strengths. It's not all about me. And that's why I'm able to be successful, is because I consistently show up. I consistently use my own products. I'm a product of the product. I'm authentically me. And when people see that I'm consistent and I'm not jumping in and out and all over the place, and they know they can come to me and ask me questions, that's when people say, wow, what is this? Because we live in a microwave generation where when people join MLMs, everybody around them expects them to jump out. I mean, I do. When I see somebody else join an MLM on my Facebook, I'm always like, yeah, give it 3 months. They'll be out when the money's not handed to them. But with the compensation that Plexus has set up, everything's mutually beneficial. I heard Tarla and Alex say that. That's the head leaders. If you're new and listening to this, it's the head people. And they say everything that they do is mutually beneficial. And what that means is that everybody benefits from everything that's going on. And we're not in this alone. We're building this together. And I think my points, I just happen to be in a harvest season, because I have had times when I've been really discouraged because I'm doing everything Donna Lee's doing and I'm not getting the results that Donna Lee's getting. Why is that happening? It's because it's not a system. You have to continually show up and share. And then when your harvest season comes around, that's when all of that work pays off. So as long as you're consistent, I feel like that's been my key, is just showing up for my team, showing up for my family, showing up for myself, and just consistently being authentic and sharing my personality and who I am, and being true and honest to the person I am, because that's what your network is looking for. And that's what your team is looking for.
So true. And Shea, last month she had 2 girls go senior Ruby, like that, right, Shea?
Yes.
Yes. So one ended the month in March with 50 points and went senior Ruby, and one was barely at 100 points and went senior Ruby, which is just incredible. And it just shows you what 1 month can do to your business. And Shea had a big impact on that, in leading her team. And I just think it's, like she said, everybody's harvest comes at a different time, and you have to just follow the path, don't sway, stay laser focused, show up for your team, be consistent. I think that's just so important. Thanks, Shea. All right, Katie, I want to hear about what you did to go Emerald.
Okay, so I've been sitting here listening to Shea, and I've been thinking about this. And there's a lot of things leading into the month of April. March was my worst month I've had in a year, like my lowest point since ranking senior Ruby, the fewest ads, the fewest personal ads I've had in months. And I just kind of had started the month with a very small dream board. I like to put out my goals on my dream board every month. And I just wanted to re-rank senior Ruby, and that was going to be good. Like, that was good for me. And I wanted 6 people for that stimulus. And that was as big as I was letting myself dream last month after March. I had gotten into the mindset of COVID's here. Nobody's wanting to buy their products, even though everyone needs these products right now because it's COVID and everyone needs a better immune system. But people weren't spending money. And so it was one of those things where it was like, this is a really hard time. It's just a really hard time. And I let that get into my mind a little bit until probably the 12th of April. Honestly, that was my focus. And then all of a sudden I had signed my 6 people, and I was like, oh, well, then I need to edit my dream board. So I got a little bit better faith, and I put a few more numbers on there. And it was about halfway through the month. And it just hit me. Like, God gave us COVID to help us this month, because people were home. People were responding faster than ever. When we were doing events, people were actually getting on. And so I started to switch the mindset to where COVID wasn't a curse. It was actually a blessing. And I'm not saying that insensitively. It's a horrible thing for people who have gone through it. But I'm saying for me as a person, being able to help others financially through that month, and then physically for a stronger immune system, and just feeling that having products that are helping them to get healthier, it became a blessing. And so I jumped on our team page and I was like, guys, stop thinking of it as like a really bad thing. This is a blessing. Start looking at it as a blessing and asking God to just bless you for it. So we started praying over our team, praying that God would use our days and expand our time. Like, we prayed specifically, my level 1 and I would pray daily that God would give us and stretch us time throughout the day, because we had so much we wanted to do, because I kind of had started slow. So I was like, I want to end strong. So now I have like a lot of catch up. So we prayed that God would, stretch out our hours through the day. And then because we were going to bed late, that he would just give us really, really good, healthy sleep and keep our health strong. So those were the first things that we did. And we did it every single day. We prayed over our team that the Lord would keep us healthy, that we'd be a good product of the product and show people we were staying strong through all of this. But then the two other things that I know God just gave us the idea for, something that was really helpful was something that we did, and we made a thread, a posting thread. And in the posting thread, I had everyone in our team, I added them all to it. I said, okay, you guys, 7-day challenge. We are going to take all the work out of it for you. I am posting every single day a Plexus post, a life post idea, and then stories for your stories. And if you will do this challenge every single day for a whole week, I'm going to give you a $10 gift card at the end of the week. And so I did the legwork for new people and for people who just don't post, because I knew if we could get our friends to post, those networks were going to expand, because so many more people were going to be seeing those posts, where somebody might post once a week. Well, they were posting every single day and in their stories. And then that person started going silver. And then they were helping their friends go silver, and their business started growing just from posting. And not just, but like, it definitely increased their odds by posting, being seen with algorithms and everything. So if you change something or try something new this month, we're doing it again. We started it today, where you just put everybody in. And if anybody misses a day, you just remove them. Tell them this is not a chatting group. You're going to go in, no comments, just say done. When you're done at the end of the day, you can use the content I provide, or you can provide your own. It doesn't matter. This is here to help you, but we want you to be successful. And we want to just take a lot of that work and like thinking and hours of like planning away from you. So I would post daily, a life post, Plexus post, story every single day. And that's what they had to do. And we had so many people get involved in that. And I truly believe that expanded just our reach and expanded those people's reach, because we had so many more rank ups than would have happened from those people that were in that chat who had not been seeing growth before that. And then the other thing that we came up with in March, we were planning to do a big sip and see, reach out. We were going to go to all the boutiques in town, and my friend and I were just going to go crazy with sip and sees. We had been to a retreat in Nashville, and we had a friend share about her sip and sees, and we're like, yes, we're going home. We're doing this. And that was Saturday. Sunday, we like got locked down for COVID, and that was in March. And so we're like, great, now we can't do sip and sees. Like, oh, there goes all that. So we're like, wait, we can still do this. We're going to do it virtually. And so we jumped on, and we kind of made it like a wedding baby shower thing, where we had games and we just had a lot of fun, and we had live events, not so many like post where you had to read a lot. And people stayed interactive, and we signed several people from that. And so that idea evolved with my friend Deb and I. We evolved that into something that we just were like, it's a girls' night out or a fun night out or lives and giveaways events. There was a lot of guys involved. We just kind of changed the title depending on the crowd. And that was seriously something that's a huge key factor in the growth that we saw. We had somebody sign. We immediately, once they've signed, we say, hey, we have this stimulus bonus. We tell them, gently tell them how to do it, and then say, hey, let's do an event for you invite your friends. You guys can get healthy together. You can, get money for your products, or just bless your family through this time. And we did, I don't even know, probably 40, 50 events throughout the last 2 to 3 weeks of the month. I mean, we were eventing like crazy. But then we saw close to 240 people join our team throughout that month. And that, I mean, my record was like 50 at this point in a month. So like, it was only God. God gave us the ideas, and they worked. And will they work this month? I don't know. We're going to try it. We're going to see what else he has for us. But those were two things that we truly just tried and went with, that I know he blessed those efforts, because like Shea said, when you reap and you're consistent, he's gonna give that harvest. When you're faithful, he said you'll reap what you sow. So you can't just jump in and be like, I'm just gonna sign 50 people if you haven't been consistent to this point. It does build. But it was also just some ideas I truly felt like he gave our team this month that made a lot of the difference, and then prayer and his blessings. So that's how it worked.
Well, Katie, I love how right away you were getting your team wins. And I think that that's so important when we talk about people staying in this business and retention and just feeling good about what they're doing. With your parties and with your posting, you were giving people wins right away. I mean, I heard many stories from your team that someone would come in and they would go silver in the same day. Just incredible. I just appreciate you guys so much. Okay, Gianina, I want to hear about you going emerald.
Awesome. Gosh, those are all really, really great. And I took lots of notes. So hopefully this month we can keep so much momentum going. But so I had a little bit of a different experience, but similar in the sense that I wasn't planning to push last month. It kind of snuck up on me where I was like, oh my gosh, my points are like really far along in the month. Like, I'm just going to go for it. But one thing I want to say, and this is something Donnelly and I talked a lot about last month, is I set very specific deadlines. I put specific points on specific days out there. And this honestly started back in June of last year, where I said, I want to be an Emerald on stage in Nashville for convention. And of course, that's going to look a little bit different this year. But I said, by next year convention, like I want to be an Emerald. And so the fact that I hit it the last month that we were eligible to have that, I feel like is really meant to be. And it's because I put that out there and I spoke it into existence and I truly believed it. And then just throughout the month, I said, I want to hit 500 points by this date. I want to have 1,000 points by the 25th. I want to be at 1250 by the 28th. Like I just set very specific goals. And even for convention contests, I said I wanted to hit this number by this date. And it was almost surprising and shocking to me because it would happen even without me being very intentional about effort that day. Like every single day that I said, this is how many points I want to be at, it just happened. And so I do believe in having those specific goals and those specific numbers. Like it helps your mindset. I share them with my team. And I literally said, okay, guys, we're 20 people away from hitting the goal that I wanted to hit tomorrow. Do you think we can add 20 people between today and tomorrow or help qualify them? And we did. And so that's been a huge, huge part of it. And then mindset has been another huge part of it. That's something that I'm passionate about and have always been passionate about throughout my business. But, there always comes a point when you're pushing for a goal or you're working for a goal where you have that moment of it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Every single one of us. And for me, that was 9 days till the end of the month. And I remember laying in bed and saying, oh my gosh, there's only 9 days left in the month, and getting really discouraged and feeling like this just isn't going to happen this month. And so in that moment, I decided instead of feeling defeated, I set my alarm clock for an hour earlier the next morning, and I worked harder the next day. And I want to encourage you guys with that because literally like every single time, it doesn't matter how far along you are in your rank, any goal that you're working for, you're going to have that moment. And what you do in that moment determines how the rest of your month is going to go, determines where your goals are going to go. And I know even for Shea, she was sharing in some of the group chats, and she didn't it surprised her that she ranked Emerald last month. Like all of us, it was totally a God thing, but you have to be intentional about that. We did do some events as well, but we did them weekly, or we did 2 a week, and we did bigger ones with our teams rather than individual. And we did follow the same format of making it fun and upbeat and, not so heavy on the posting, more lives, more testimonies, and more sharing, which has really helped us as well. But I really believe the biggest key for us as a team last month was we did a ton of 3-way chats. So 3-way chats have been like our secret weapon, so to speak, where honestly, with those 3-way chats, so I was looking at my numbers just now, and in March, we enrolled 11 ambassadors, and in April, we enrolled 241 ambassadors. And the 3-way chats were really like the biggest thing for us, where I spoon-fed people their posts once they enrolled, or if they were wanting to kickstart their business, or if they had goals that they wanted to work for 3 days. And I said, post this, the first day, post this, the second day, post this, the third day, and each day was, accountability for them. As soon as somebody commented on their post, liked their post, I had them reach out, and they just said something like, hey, thank you so much for commenting on my post. I'm really excited that you're interested in Plexus. My friend Gianina has actually been in the company longer than me. I'm going to throw you in a 3-way chat with her. She has some discount codes for you, and I think she'll be able to give you a lot of information. And so we threw these people in 3-way chats, and we signed 90% of them at least that we put into 3-way chats. And kind of the way that the structure worked, for those of you that are curious about how our 3-way chats worked, the first thing I always did was I asked them about their goals. Even if the sponsor, the person they were talking to had already asked them and screenshotted it to me. I wanted to hear it for myself. I wanted them to tell me what their goals were. And when you listen to somebody's goals, you can kind of get a sense for what their why is. They want more time with their kids. They want energy to be able to play with their families, to interact with them, to feel better. So you can get a grasp of what their why is. And at that point, like, you know what their trigger points are, you know what's going to touch them. And so I'd find out their goals and I'd give them literally 2 options, no more than 2 options. And I would say, these are the 2 kits that I feel would be best for you, and here's why. And I'd go through all of the benefits of each kit. I'd give them a couple of testimonies, especially if I had one myself or somebody that was close on my team. And I'd give them a couple testimonies. And then after that, I'd say, what would your budget be for something like this? Or what would it be worth to you to have this? And, you know, they'd always overshoot way higher than what our kits actually cost. You know, we had a couple times where it wasn't quite as high, but, you know, hearing what their budget is and getting to tell them, you know, well, this is what our pricing is and what the specials are. But I never told them the pricing until I built the value of the product. I find out what their why was. I've given them reasons why this is going to help their why. And I didn't give them the website or the codes until they were ready to join. So that's something that helped us exponentially. As soon as somebody was new, we offered to be there for them. I mean, we did probably 30 to 40 three-way chats a day, and it was a lot, but it was so fun. Like, it gets your adrenaline going at that time, you know, like, it's just such a blast. And so we had a lot of fun doing that. And then for the people who weren't quite ready to order, we added them into our Stories and Wellness community, which is like our testimonial page. And we added them into a wellness event. And usually by the time they were added to those, within a week, they were ready to join. So it was just a really exciting month. But just to encourage people, you know, have that mindset that you can accomplish it, and, you know, learn how to push through that wall of when it doesn't look like you're going to reach your goals. And if not for yourself, you guys, I went through this in July of last year, where I worked until the very last minute of the day, like I was going to hit Emerald, even though there was no way, like there was no way. But I worked until that very last minute, and I taught my team how to do that. Most importantly, I taught my team how to get past those roadblocks, how to get past the mindset, and how to work even when it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And you guys, and this is more rewarding than me going Emerald by far, I had people on my team who 2 weeks prior to that had they're like, there's just no way I'm going to hit senior gold this month. There's just no way. And there's no way I'm going to hit Ruby. But I was like, you're going to regret it if you don't push. Just push. And they each hit their goals last month. So some of them double ranked even. So that's all I have for you guys. But yeah, gosh, what an exciting month for everybody.
So exciting. Okay, so Gianina, I think that you also told me that you were doing chats with your team, right? So for each team that would add someone, you would add them to chats, and the goal was to get them to earn the impact initiative, to add the 6. Can you tell us just a little bit more about that? Because I think that the way that you connected them, and you connected even new people to like this momentum of like working towards the same thing, I think that really helped too.
Yeah, so basically each different leg of my downline, I started a group chat for all of their new ambassadors. So it wasn't just like a group chat for everybody. It was like this leg of this downline had a group chat, you know, every single one had a separate one. And all of them working for it together built that excitement. And, you know, they're like, oh, this person earned it and this person earned it. Like, I can earn it. What are they doing? And that was where I spoon fed them the posts too. So they weren't just seeing that people were being successful. They were seeing that like this is how they were being successful. And so, you know, one of the chats, I had people not really engaging as much, and they weren't really talking and weren't really motivated. But then as soon as one person earned the impact stimulus, as soon as one person like hit that goal and went silver, everyone was like, oh, maybe I should do those things too. And so they started doing the things, and it was like exponential growth. And actually that person's team, he joined, and within 9 days he went gold. And so that really helped, having everybody see like not only is everybody being successful, but this is the steps that they're taking to get there.
Oh, I love that. I'm so excited for you guys. I just wanted to share something that I did. So my husband's team went Emerald, and he had been senior Ruby for 5 years. And I just think, again, like staying the course is so important, but something that we did different this month was a lot more one-on-one Zooms. And when I first started, that was something that we always did. But this looked a little bit different. So we would get somebody on a Zoom, we would open their virtual office, and we would go one by one. Every single person on their team that were level ones or compressed level ones that they had worked with, we'd go over their goals. Why did they first start? Would they be able to restart a business or restart the products? Are they interested in a fresh start? That's what we would call it. Who do they have on their team? How can they reach out to these people? And just kind of like you guys, equipping them with what to say to their team and what to say to potentials. And when they got off that Zoom, they would have a plan. They would have anywhere between 6 to 10 things that they needed to do. And I would then hold them accountable. I would follow up with them 2 days later. Hey, what did so-and-so say? What happened here? And I really think too, that got the ball rolling for people who normally weren't interested. But when they heard about our impact initiative and earning, so much money so quickly, they were interested, because people are so much more open right now to hear what we have. We have solutions for their health, solutions for their finances right at our fingertips. So going that extra mile and connecting with them one-on-one, I think for me and that leg made a huge, huge impact. But I want to just finish this up and ask you guys each just to share 3 tips. It could be anything about the business, just 3 tips if you were talking to somebody who is new in the business, or somebody who feels like, their wheels are spinning and they're not making much movement. Just what would you say to them?
Is it my turn? Sorry, I'm in a suburb. This is my favorite part about Plexus, is that you can work your business from anywhere, right? This guy's mowing the lawn over here. So I think that it was funny listening to all of us talk. I think one of the things that we all have in common that we've done so far is create those group messages, and also having those one-on-one conversations. And like Gianina, is it Gianina? I always say her name wrong. I'm sorry, Gianina. But connecting and feeding them what to do. I think that the biggest thing that people kind of struggle with is, what do I do with my hands? I don't know I want to do this, but I don't know what the steps are. And so my best thing that I could pass forward to somebody who's wanting to grow their business is stay connected. Have daily conversations with your upline, because that's how most of my people started ranking up, is those group messages and asking questions, and me giving them graphics and them saying, hey, how do I do this and how do I respond? And me being able to type up a well thought out 5-year Plexus journey response, like, so that they don't have to think about it and they can just respond. So I think that the best thing that anybody could do that's starting out is stay connected to your upline and ask lots of questions, because there's lots of different ways to work your business, a lot of different systems you can use, parties, sip and sees, events, group messages, you name it. We could sit here and list for an hour different things that you can try. But really it's all about your network and what's going to work for you. And so just staying connected and asking questions is a huge part of the journey, and that's going to help you be successful, because your upline's been doing it for a while. They're not new to the party. So that's really all mine is.
Great, thank you. Okay, Katie.
Okay, so I was thinking about it, and I think that for me, over the years of sharing, posting consistently, if you're just starting out this business, I started out, I went silver pretty quickly, and then I just kind of enjoyed the rest of my summer, and I would post every so often. Happen to have makeup on, I take a picture of me with my pink drink, and you guys, I stayed silver for like 8 months because I didn't really do the things. So big thing, posting every day. And that doesn't mean like posting Plexus and being this big billboard. It means being real and authentic on your social media. So post your life, have some hobbies you're posting about. You have to think about it a little bit, put some thought into your posts, and let people know you're a real person. You're not just over here trying to make money or take money. You are a real person with a real family, with real dreams. And so let them see that, even if it's vulnerable, even if it's something that's uncomfortable at times, like let them see that. So post about your life, because they're your friends and that's what they want to see anyways. And if they see you incorporating the products into your life, they're going to see how easy it is to incorporate them into their lives. So I would just say, I try personally to post a life post and a Plexus post every single day if possible. And then also stories. I utilize my stories pretty much. I live on there. When I'm on social media, I do stories all the time. And I do have a lot of, it's just a lot of fun because that's what I love to watch. When I get on social media, I like to go watch people's stories. So post every day, be consistent. Don't just post once a week and hope that things are magically going to happen. Because chances are only 10% of your friends even see that post. So that means if you have 200 friends, maybe 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 might see that post once a week, which means all those other people won't see it for weeks, you know? So it just increases your chances of being able to be seen and exposure. So also customer service Zooms. This is something else that we have been implementing in the last couple months, where once a week we get on every Monday together and do a Zoom. And this is for somebody who does have a bit of a downline. But each of us, if we have signed somebody, so today, later on this afternoon, our team's getting on, and everyone who signed anybody, even this year, but especially last month, we're going to reach out, and it's time they have their products. We've sent them their schedules. We're going to check in on them, making sure they're having good results, taking their products, doing their water, and just consistently letting them know that we are here to help them. That's why they joined us. That's why they didn't buy random products from GNC. It's because those people, you buy it, you walk away, you don't get that. But with Plexus, you have that. So being really intentional, because that is going to be retention later with points. People are going to be happy with their products. So just don't sign somebody and walk away from them. Sign them and make sure you write on your calendar if you need to remind you, check in with so-and-so, make sure they're not just grabbing their products and taking the full dosage right away. Let them start gently. We have all those schedules for a reason. So post every day, be very, very intentional about customer service. And then something that we have done for months with our upline is our book studies. And that really is great for community. And it also helps teach with mindset. If we see that we have a weakness in a certain area, we can grab a book. And the one we read all through January, February, March was called Chase the Lion. And it was talking about going after a goal and a dream so much bigger than you. We literally ended that in April. And that's what my friend Deb and I, we encourage each other. We're chasing our 500-pound lion. We are chasing that dream, and it's bigger than us, and we can't do it on our own. But that book study and the community we had to do that, we could encourage our team ladies. Remember, these are our goals. These are our dreams. This is why we're doing that. And a lot of people do join us for the community. So just remember that aspect of pouring into our team, your team, even if it's 1 or 2 of you, grab a book and learn about business, learn about mindset. Like Gianina was saying, like mindset is everything, because MLM marketers are not always treated nicely. We have things said to us, and you have to be able to just push past that. Because if all of us had stopped when somebody said something snarky, we would not be here. And it was absolutely worth people unfollowing or blocking or deleting me, to get to where I am right now. And so just pour into your community, remember customer service, and post consistently. That's my tips.
Thank you. Those are so good. And Gianina?
Awesome. So for me, community was a big one for me too. Your team culture. And this really starts from the time that you join. You get to decide what you want your team to look like, what you want your team to feel like, what kind of people that you want on your team. And really, as a leader, it starts with you. Your mindset starts with you. Your growth starts with you. The culture does. And I always tell my team, if you feel like you're stuck and you feel like you're not growing, that momentum starts with you. And that's kind of where it all started for me last year in July. You know, I felt like I was stuck with my team. I ended June last year with about 340 points. And ever since then, it just continually went up, because I drew my line in the sand and decided it starts with me, and this momentum starts with me. So if you feel like you're stuck, do the things, do the action, bring your team along there with you, let them see your success and teach them. And then just create a culture that you want your team to be, whether your team is 5 people or 500 people, create that culture. And then another thing, and this is something Donnelly knows that I struggle with, is I get so distracted with what other people are doing. And it's easy to be like, well, this system's working for this person. And, you know, one week I'm doing the 3-day challenge boxes. The next day I'm focusing on events. The next day I'm focusing on something completely different. So pick one thing and be laser focused and committed to that thing without, you know, seeing what's successful for everybody else. And you heard so many different tips on this call, but pick one thing that resonates with you and that you think will resonate with your team, and just go with it and give it at least a solid month. And if it doesn't work after that month, reprioritize, regroup, and see, you know, what changes need to be made. But don't try to do everything that everybody else is doing, because I did that for 3 years and it got me nowhere. It got me in the same place, you know. So find that thing and just go with it, and don't like tunnel vision. Don't be distracted by what everybody else is doing. And then my last tip would be grab a sideline sister, somebody that is going after the same goal as you, somebody that you know, it has that same mindset that's going to push you. And I know, you know, for a lot of us that ranked last month, we were constantly checking on each other. Where's your points? How can I pray for you today? What can I do? This is what's working for me. What's working for you? Grab that sideline, because, you know, our uplines, they're so valuable, and our downlines, obviously we can't do anything without them. But having that sideline that's going to push you, they don't have, you know, they don't win or lose by you ranking or not ranking, but they have that belief and faith and drive in you. And that's like been the most valuable thing in my business ever since really Leaders Retreat was when I started allowing those sidelines in. So grab a sideline and run this race together. Hold them accountable, let them hold you accountable, and really you'll be unstoppable at that point.
Thank you. Well, I just want to tell you guys how much I appreciate you, and thank you so much for jumping on here. And yes, congratulations on going Emerald, all of you guys. Okay, we'll chat soon. Bye.